welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee.
How you doing, Leroy?
How's it going? Do you like my background?
Oh, I love it.
I was just turning into, what's the name of the one that Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, just going purple all the time. I think anyone who was watching it probably thought I had blood pressure issues. So until I get a better lighting, that ain't coming back up yet.
Oh, well, I'm going up market soon.
Oh, microphone.
You know, we're going into the next century. How's your Christmas, New Year been then? Well, New Year, I spoke to you at Christmas, but
yeah, it's been steady really. I've been sort of like in hibernation mode apart from when I've gone to work. But yeah, I think over this time of year I just like to keep myself to myself and just chill out really. Back to work, so I just got to get back into the swing of things and start socialising with people again.
It's the way, innit? You got to start a new year, get back into the swing of seeing people and doing shit again, I suppose, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, I go in for a few post-Christmas blues. I do. I just like it's all over so quickly, isn't it? And then just get miserable for a few weeks. I'll be back to normal soon.
Do you know what? Part of me though craves getting back to normal. Couldn't wait to get my tree down and all the decorations down. Did it, took the cards down, the lot. It's like got my house back to normal. It's like,
I hate it. I love sitting there in the dark with all the lights on and the Christmas tree on. Completely the opposite I am. Just makes me feel in a better mood.
Just been putting my open fire on instead every night. So a bit of something to look forward to. But anyway then, right guys, we're going to be doing FA Cup special, and we're also going to be doing another video which covers EFL, so Championship, League One and League Two. So should be interesting.
We're doing the Premier Flop special, aren't we? Not an FA Cup one.
Oh yeah, Premier Flop, but we're going to breeze over.
Yeah, we'll breeze over the FA Cup because, well, we mentioned before we went on, you know, third round, so many to cover. You don't know what teams are going to be put out. You don't know what games are going to go ahead at the moment. No. Not just because of COVID. It's going to be, you know, the lower league rounds. They're probably going to get washed out through weather and that. So.
Seeming that way, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll quickly breeze to the FA Cup. Oh, did you enjoy the game against Wolves the other day? This is the quiet. Well, it's going to be the quietest you'll hear him. Then it's going to go on.
To say about that, Lee. Got a lot to say about that, Lee. Although Wolves, taking nothing away from Wolves, they absolutely 190,000% deserve to win that.
Yeah,
they came with a plan. They came with a plan, stuck to it, like, you know, did it well, and it's like I said to you before, if Neves and Moutinho were in that Manchester United team, Manchester United would be title contenders. I don't doubt it for a second. How much attacks go through these two guys, and they're both effective, really effective. I'm on about like going forward. I can count numerous times that they both got on the ball and had a shot. Or Neves looked like he was going to score. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, he was outstanding first off. So they're not the biggest guys in the middle of the park. I mean, Neves actually deceives a bit. He's not far off 6 foot, Ruben Neves, but
is he not?
Yeah, I think he's about 5'11", something like that. So he does deceive a little bit. Maybe he's getting taller with that.
5'3".
He's 5'7", the football 11 they call him.
He looks tiny.
Yeah, he doesn't look the biggest, but he's about 5'10", 5'11". So it's not a horrendous height to be at, is it?
No, not at all.
But yeah, he was outstanding first off, Neves. For me, the man of the match, I think Podence in the end, who obviously played very well himself.
What? I think at the time when I saw it like awarded, I thought they took him off. He's probably not been on pitch for 20 minutes, you know. And they still give him man of the match. But then again, he had an absolute blinder. Surprised they took him off, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether there's a fitness issue with him because he barely ever finishes a game. I don't know whether this was to try and just see out the game itself on this tactical bar. If it was maybe 1-0 down, maybe I'd have left him on. But usually he's one of the first to be hauled off Pedences. So.
Tell you what, when Neto gets back in that team, you're going to be frightening, kid.
Yeah, so if he comes back the way he did, because even Jamie Redknapp said after the game, he says he ain't going to be an attacking threat for Wolves when he comes back. He's going to be a world-class player when he comes back. I know we're taking the voice off Jamie Redknapp here, who's actually right on that.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Croc.
Yeah, he'll know all about the injuries that Neto's had, wouldn't he? So.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie Redknapp were almost like Darren Anderton.
Yeah, we did have him down the balls ourselves, Darren Anderton, for a year.
I do remember.
I think he had a couple of knocks, as I call them.
Couldn't play 2 games in a row. He was the Bailly of that century, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a strange one because I did used to enjoy watching him play in his early days for Spurs. He's a good player, wasn't he, Anderton? But I suppose more common than you know, isn't it? Especially back in the day. And you get, like you say, about every boy players like that just keep picking up these knocks, don't they?
Yeah. Well, there's unrest at United apparently, and everyone wants to leave. And I'm thinking to myself, good, because you're all not doing anything for United right now. And to be honest, I could probably change a good 6 of that starting 11.
I'll tell you what, mate, watching that game the other day, I couldn't believe. I mean, teams go through periods, don't they? Obviously, Liverpool had their drop, when I was growing up. So they were like.
Remind these Liverpool fans, 30 years. Just remember, we're on 8. 30 years. 30
the way, man.
Leicester won the Premier League. Blackburn won the Premier League before Liverpool, and you still only won it once.
I think
that's for all the Liverpool fans I don't know that give me shit on a daily basis.
I'm not sure I remember this in 22 years, but if Man U keep all this, going with the people behind the scenes making the choices that they are, and you probably can't argue that it could happen to Man U, but
but come on, you look at the situation, right? And we've been through it, right? We've had Ferguson left. And to replace Ferguson in an aging side takes time anyway, and that's what's happened. We've had a few failed managers. We've had managers which have been thrown under the bus by players numerous times, and looks like they're trying to do that again now. Doesn't help the fact that they hired an interim to replace an interim, because you're never gonna take them seriously. If you were like someone like Ronaldo or Bruno Fernandes, who are obviously the people in the squad which are a bit like, oh, it's the Ronaldo and Fernandes show. If you like these, then you're just going to look at it and go, nah, I ain't interested. I'll wait to see what the next manager does. I might leave.
Yeah, I mean,
leave. We'll be saving 800 grand a week if you leave. Whatever. Fine. We'll get 10 players in for 80 grand a week that want to play there, that will put 150% in every single game and look like a football team. That's the way you got to look at it now. And I honestly think Rangnick looks at people like that. He doesn't look at these world-class players. He doesn't look at these 600 grand a week or Alexis Sanchez 450 grand a week players. He doesn't entertain that. And I like that.
He's never really had that, has he? I suppose he's never really managed. Well, he's definitely never managed a club as big as Man United. He's never really managed.
You look at who he's going for already. Who he's shortlisting for, to sign. I like it. You know what I mean? It's like you've got Julian Alvarez, lad from River Plate, who's like South American Player of the Year. But that came with a bit of a timing, really. All of a sudden, so they were targeting him. It came up with loads of news articles about it. We're talking about Julian Alvarez, like loads of videos about him and whatever, and no one had heard of him. And then all of a sudden, because United have shown interest in him, like a few days later, he's been awarded South American Player of the Year. Oh, I wonder why that is. So they can bounce 30 million on the price. Come on. It's like, but that's got to change. That's got to change. That's got to be City and Newcastle's job, that going forward, being stung massive prices. You know, we've had it for years now, and we're getting like substandard players for stupid money. Harry Maguire should never be in a United shirt for me, ever. Phil Jones, in that one game back, and after not playing for 2 years, played twice as good as I've seen Harry Maguire play for a year. Twice as good. Maybe
It's like,
5 times as good.
It's like when you look back on Fergie when he was there. I mean, yeah, he probably would sign the odd player who's proven, like Van der Sar, get them on a free, wouldn't they? You know, and Van Nistelrooy was obviously banging the goals in for PSV. I was that bad injury that cancelled his move, but he'd only ever been proven in the Dutch league. So he bought them over, and he's bringing good players in for good prices. Obviously, Cantona, you know, players
even
like
Van
that.
Persie weren't expensive.
Yeah, obviously I think it was in the last year of his deal, wasn't he? So it went a bit cheaper, but you know, he never really did, like, you know, the Pogba deals or anything like that, did he? You know, where you're paying about 100 million for him to just.
Do you know what? I'm surprised that if he was on his deathbed, that'd have killed him off. That because he sold him, knew there weren't much in him. He was like so highly rated and just never did anything and did it. And Fergie must have got rid of him for a reason. And now it's starting to show the reason why. You know, because for all the hype, he ain't all that. And you know, in a France shirt, maybe he's just patriotic and sport. I don't know, but in a France shirt, because he's got Kante at the side of him. If I played at the side of Kante, I'd be signing for someone for 90 million and all. I guarantee it, 100%. But it doesn't matter who you put at the side of Kante. You could put Eric Jemba at the side of Kante and he'd look like a world beater. Kante does all the dirty work and all the tough work, leaving it for the people that can play and pass the ball about to get to that next stage. And Pogba, he could be on my flops list.
Yeah, he could be.
He's not, but he could be.
For prices, it wouldn't surprise me if you've got a full Man United team, to be honest with you. But we're about to find out in a minute.
You know what? Also, I haven't put Grealish in. Now, it's probably a bit early to say.
Yeah.
But I think he at the minute you could call him £100 million flop because he doesn't look like he's getting in that team to me.
It is a tough one to like really say on it at the moment because it hasn't been, for me, this season's been so stop-start. Mm-hmm. I couldn't mention a few that, you know, probably haven't lived up to the hype as like Grealish himself. And obviously you go from Doherty from last season, obviously Spurs spending a bit of money on him, but you know, it's not, the football's just been so stop-start, you can't really probably mention recent players that much, can you?
No, I've avoided it like the plague, to be honest. Right then, well, I'm going to stop talking about Man United before I have like high blood pressure passing out.
Just like me last week on the screen.
Right, so I'm going to breeze through some of these fixtures a minute, okay, for the FA Cup. So, starting this Saturday, so we've got 12:15 kickoff. First of all, we've got Mansfield play at home to Middlesbrough. We've got Bristol City at 12:30 playing at home to Fulham. We've got Burnley at home to Huddersfield at 12:30. That's like a little bit of a local derby, that, for Burnley. It's not far away, Huddersfield, from where Burnley is. If you cross the border, you're just into Halifax, and then across from Halifax, you've got Huddersfield. So,
Burnley's in the middle of everywhere, isn't it? Yorkshire and Lancashire, I suppose, isn't it? So
it's probably nearly as far. You've got Burnley, then Colne, and then you're almost, and Clitheroe, and that, and you're almost like, Burnley and Colne. Clitheroe was further back. That was after Blackburn. Blackburn, Clitheroe, Burnley, Colne, and then you're into Skipton, then Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's where we go, Skipton, quite regular. My missus is friend lives up there, so yeah.
Have you ever seen a sign for Barn Oldswick?
I probably have, but it wouldn't stick out to me, I don't think.
If you ever go up there again, keep your eye out for it. I played football for them when I was young.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Barn Oldswick, they were good back in the day.
I'll have a look next time I go up. Probably won't be too long.
We're only little then, but yeah, my dad used to take me all the way over to borderline Yorkshire for to play in that team.
Yeah, good stuff. Any good?
Oh, we're always good. Just interesting. Right. Anyway, onwards again. So what about Burnley? Do you reckon they're going to turn Huddersfield over at home?
Teams like Burnley are probably going to be thinking about staying in the league, aren't they? So they'll probably play a bit. I think you'll see a fair few teams play weakened teams.
Have they got a weakened team?
But they'll probably play some players that don't get in as much, you know. Like Nathan Collins, to say weakened, I thought he was really good against Wolves. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine he should play in that game to try and bed him in a bit more comfort into his game at Burnley, I suppose. But when you come up against a Championship team, they're always hard work, aren't they? Could be an upset. Yeah, could be an upset. Because
Huddersfield ain't done that bad, have they?
Yeah, I think if they're not in the top six, they're not far off it.
I think they were about seventh last time I seen. But yeah, they were. They might have changed now because obviously
getting quietly about the business.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely an improvement on the previous 2 seasons, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
They've struggled in the Championship a bit, Huddersfield, haven't they? So
yeah.
So anyway, right. Well, we've got Coventry at 12:30 at home to Derby. Go on, Rooney. We've got Hartlepool, Jeff Stelling's Hartlepool at 12:30 at home to Blackpool. We've got. I fancy Hartlepool, the game of the pools. I fancy Hartlepool getting a bit of an upset here. That's my tip. Right.
If any game's got a 0-0 writ all over it.
Yeah, I think 1-0 Hartlepool winner. Millwall 12:45 kickoff at home to Crystal Palace. Leroy.
That'd be a tasty one. They could be an upset depending on what team Palace plays.
Millwall are good at home. And
yeah,
with that, with them fans as well, I think Crystal Palace fans think it might give this one a miss this weekend.
Seems like another Green Street episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know it.
I remember Millwall. I think they knocked out Everton a couple of years ago. But
yeah,
too much for them. So.
I remember them playing United in the FA Cup final.
Final.
Remember that when they ended up getting into Europe the following year by losing the FA Cup final because United won the league.
Dennis Wise is the manager. Good deal. But they had a good team then, didn't they? Most of them probably made the Premier League team as they went on, didn't they? Like obviously Tim Cahill and that. So
yeah, they've had quite a lot of good players come out of there over the years, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, some good players.
3 o'clock then. We've got Barnsley at home to Barrow. We've got Boreham Wood 3 o'clock kickoff at home to Wimbledon.
Just jumping on that one, Boreham Wood doing really well in the National League. Keep an eye out for their odds because they're stronger at home and
they're my go-to bets on my accumulator. I've been liking Boreham Wood.
What I'll probably do is pick out 3 teams as a long shot, and you put a couple of quid on it. It could be
absolutely.
The 4th in the National League, so that's good going. That is, and really strong at home. So Wimbledon aren't as great away. So yeah,
they're a bit of a mixed bag, Wimbledon, aren't they?
Yeah, it seems to have gone off the boil a bit. I think they had a decent start.
Started really well.
Yeah, definitely gone off the boil a little bit. And
bloody Dagenham, they started really well as well this year. Was it Dagenham or was it Dagenham? Oh no, it wasn't Dagenham. It was MK Dons I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was playing some good stuff.
Right, we've also got Kidderminster at home to Reading. Got and then let's touch on this one. Leicester at home to Watford.
There's Ranieri, they're going back there again, isn't it? I think they played them a few weeks ago, didn't they? Is that right? Don't see a Leicester win now. I think they both play weakened teams. I think you'll see most Premier League teams that do play each other probably will, unless they're comfortable and they're going to go for it. I don't know whether Leicester is just thinking they can still sneak in the Europa League spots there.
I think they'll definitely be focusing on that, won't they?
Yeah. I mean, if you win this, you go in the Europa League. So, but luck could have it. You could be drawn away to Man City the next round, couldn't you? So,
yeah. I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think that's the thing with the FA Cup. So up in the air compared to a League Cup.
Yeah. It is. I mean, like even Man City took the League Cup seriously, I suppose, at times, but they've always seemed to have had a favourable run through to the semis and they might reach someone a bit of standard.
Do you know what? I see United's draws me, and I sometimes, obviously, when I watched that Champions League draw, and it was the United match that was completely wrong and they put us in the wrong thing. I wonder whether this happens quite a lot. You know, I wonder whether they go, not Man United one, no, we need to put that in a separate pot a minute and pull it out, you know, further on. You know, as soon as the camera pans to whoever's like presenting it, they go like that and chuck the ball in quick, you know. Ooh, who's that there? Ooh, United are playing a Premier League club in the first round of the flaming. Honestly, it does it all the time.
It always seems to be. It's over. I mean, they've drawn out Villa, which is usually a classic tie, isn't it? When they used to play Villa, but they usually used to get like Liverpool or Arsenal.
Yeah, or Chelsea,
over,
Arsenal, Liverpool. That is us in a nutshell. Or City. You know, that is our luck. That is what we do. We don't get Mansfield. That'd be nice.
You got Exeter one year and they took you to a replay, so you can't complain about it.
To be honest. Well, this is the problem. We get a bit complacent and think, oh, we'll play our second 11, and our second 11's not as good as York. Or
I think you had was it last year or the year before you had us? That went to a replay.
Yeah, that was under Mourinho. You beat us, didn't you?
Now you beat us in the replay, 1-0, I think.
Oh,
it's definitely Solskjaer. That was.
I'm thinking of the league. You did us in league, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was last season or the season before. I think it was last season.
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, might have been. I can't remember. 2 years ago, I'm going to say it, I guess.
I've slept since. So anyway, right, Newcastle at home to Cambridge at 3:00.
Yeah, this is going to be another one, but I'll probably shout out. Have a look at the odds for Cambridge just to score a goal in this game. The defence can be got at. They might even use a sporadic player at the back as well. So
tell you what, mate, Cambridge score some goals as well.
Yeah, it's probably keep an eye on the about score now draw on that as well.
Good idea.
Yeah, I think Newcastle should win the game, whatever team they put out. But
they'll win fairly strong, I reckon, won't they?
Yeah. But Cambridge will be up for it, and you see a lot of lower league teams just manage to nick a goal, don't you? Over the years, so how many times have Chelsea conceded to a lower league team, even if they've won?
Goal is key, mate, in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
isn't it? Remember that run that Chesterfield went on that year?
Yeah, it was when Sean Dyche was playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, honestly,
he'll look the same then.
He hasn't changed in 30 years, has he?
I bet his voice hasn't either.
Hey, you know, and thing is, right, you know, I'm all double jabbed and I've had my boosters, but what I'm not going to do is start putting it onto my players. Love Sean Dyche, me.
Fair play to
him. Right, Peterborough at home to Bristol Rovers. We've got Port Vale at home to Brentford. This will be interesting.
Yeah, Port Vale have. I watched them. I think there was an international break, and I watched their game. They're quite entertaining, to be fair. The game.
Yeah, honestly, I saw some clips of Port Vale on the thingy show. You know, on the league, the football league thing.
Yeah,
and they look all right to me.
Yeah, I still expect, because Brentford got some good young kids, I'd expect them to put them out, but still come through that game.
Yeah,
Port Vale won't be easy.
No, if it was the other way around at Brentford, I reckon it'd be a walkover. Like,
oh yeah.
But
but sometimes,
sorry, mate, go on.
I was just going to say, sometimes those teams love going to a Premier League ground. Now Brentford's like a new stadium, and it probably doesn't look like a traditional Premier League ground, but some teams love going there and they just feed off it, don't they? And they will nick a goal or two, so upsets can happen.
Yeah, I think if any of these lower league teams that are playing a Premiership team this weekend get the first goal, it could be interesting on a lot of fronts. Because honestly, going back to the conversations we've had many, many times, and I've said about it a few times, when I turned around and said, gone are the days of like your standout players like your Ronaldos and Messis and whatever coming, tearing it up and being the standout player. The quality of every league is just kind of. So I just think you could have a League One player which could hold their own now in the Premiership. I genuinely do. I just don't, you know what I mean? The quality of players these days, because of obviously what they've got facility wise, they're all on 3G pitches, 5G pitches. They're all on all this kind of, you know, it's just good stuff in it. You know what they've got to work with. So the quality's not a million miles away anymore. So
the lower league players have still got the old-fashioned mentality, I think, of not being overpaid prima donnas, blah, blah, blah. You've got...
Yeah, they want to play football.
But yeah, a bit of fight in them, and that will shock a few players that probably just think they turn up for a paycheck. So that's the good thing about it, and it's the beauty of the FA Cup.
I love the FA Cup.
Third round, you can't beat it. I get really into it for the third round, and I'm a bit like, as the rounds go on, I'm a bit like,
Right, who else have we got then? So we're on QPR at home to Rotherham.
That'd be a good game. That'd be loads of goals, isn't it?
I reckon you're right. Rotherham are scoring.
Yeah, and QPR can.
Joe, I bet on QPR the other week and they let me down in a big way. I'm like, should have had them the previous 4 weeks when they've done all right. We've got West Brom at home to Brighton. Now that's going to be a game.
I don't think it will be. I think they played each other a few years ago and they both put out a reserve team. I think Albion were they were the Premier League team and Brighton were the Championship team, but they both put out a weak team. It's either that or it was Albion's first year back in the Championship.
Which Albion?
West Brom. And I think I watched both of them. And I don't know why I put myself for the second one, to be honest with you. It was absolutely shocking. I think there was both 0-0. It might have gone to penalties.
I think this is a good game. I've got a weird feeling that this is going to have some goals in it.
Depends what Ishmael's... I mean, he's obviously under a different manager for him now. I don't think Brighton have improved in depth now, so whoever they put out should.
I think they'll put a strong squad out, Brian, to be honest.
I hope Albion, if Albion do, then it could be an interesting game. I wouldn't say it'd be a good game because a lot of Albion fans that I know don't like the way they're playing. So
no, they've not looked the same though, have they?
Yeah. I say from the first few games of the season, I was saying they're dead certs to go up. The way they was getting behind teams with ease. But obviously you've got to have a plan B and it doesn't seem Ishmael has that. And everyone sussed them out. So
it's a shame, really, because they are a Premiership side, really, if you, on the grand scheme of things, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, really, aren't they? If you can call Norwich every year or most years a Premiership club, you can call, and Watford, you can call West Brom.
Yeah. Well, one of my favourite Premier League seasons was when all four big Midlands clubs were in there. It's funny to laugh at a team probably going down like at the end of it, but you actually miss them when they've gone. Last time, when fans were there, but Wolves played Albion in the league now. We stayed up at the expense of Blues, great on the day, but then we haven't really played them as much since. We had a couple of Championship games with them, but it's not the same as being at the top in the top flight with the atmospheres and that.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. Well, this next two fixtures, do you know what I mean? I think these are the ones to watch this weekend, and I'm going to put some out. Wigan at home to Blackburn. This is going to be a game, mate.
The Dave Whelan derby, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, do you know what? That's going to be a game. Wigan have done well, and Blackburn have started looking a lot better. They've got that. What's that? Brereton thingy. What's he called him?
Diaz,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Ever since he's become Diaz, he's just become a world beater now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make your name a bit more exotic, and then you get better as a footballer. They're
all after him, though, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, apparently Wolves have been linked with him as well. Can't see it happening, to be honest with you. So if I was him, I'd stick it out with Blackburn because you get promoted. At least see it through to the summer.
He ain't getting promoted, though, mate.
You don't think?
No.
Well, the second, aren't they? So they're doing too bad.
I think wheels will fall off, though.
They probably will. They did last season, to be fair, but they have got some good kids there, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be good to see them back.
Longevity is a tough thing, especially in the Championship.
Definitely. I mean, Fulham and Bournemouth are the ones you probably look at should go up automatically, but they have both been in poor form recently, and that's the magic of the Championship as well, really. Things like this can happen.
The Championship is so exciting.
Yeah. Well, we're doing a special on that, aren't we? So we'll mention these when we come into it, and then.
We'll hold back with what we're saying because obviously, we can go into some depth with that. So anyway, let me breeze through some of these. So the next one I was going to talk about was Birmingham at home to Plymouth. Plymouth, mate, are going to win this game.
Well, Blues ain't been very good at home. Plymouth haven't had the same look under the new manager, obviously, because Ryan Lowe went to Preston. But and he's proven himself a good manager at every club he's been at so far, Ryan Lowe. I don't know what he's about to case manager.
Preston have turned themselves around a little bit. They're actually looking like they'll get points.
Oh, yeah. They could be, again, we'll probably mention it in the Championship one, that you always see a team after Christmas just go on a massive run and they'll get up in the playoffs. So I'm probably looking at Preston and Forest to do something like that. So
Forest are looking good.
Yeah. Well, again, they're another team that could just go on a real run. They could cause Arsenal problems in the Cup as well.
Yeah, definitely.
They've got them.
Mm-hmm. Right then, Chelsea at home to Chesterfield.
Should be a breeze, but like I said, how many times have Chelsea probably win about 5-6? You keep an eye on Chesterfield to score a goal, so it'd be massive odds to score a goal there.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I might do that.
Keep an eye on it, it'll be some good odds.
Hull at home to Everton. Everton will win this because Hull are struggling. And if it was the old Hull, I could have fancied Hull, really.
That's some good. I mean, you look at Hull's team, very, very young team. So he's done well, McCann, to get them back up.
Yeah.
But they've got like Keane, Lewis Potter, whether he'll play. What they should do, really. So, I mean, you either put him in the shop window or you see how good he is against Premier League opposition. But he will be playing in the Premier League in a couple of years.
You've got to give this lad a chance, haven't you?
Yeah. He'll be playing in the Premier League a couple of years, definitely.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Everton should win the game. They should be looking to win the cup, really. The teams like this should be looking to take advantage of this.
Yeah, or at least getting at least quarter semi-finals in these kind of competitions, you know what I mean? But I guarantee, I'll put money on it, that you will not see Everton in any of the quarter-finals, semi-finals or final.
Nah, that's the thing. They're just, since 1995, you never really see them around there. I think they've got to a couple of finals, haven't they?
Joe, broke my heart, that did as well. Whole ride out.
Oh, that one. Who was it who beat him? Was it Chelsea who beat him in the FA Cup final a few years ago? Was it Lampard scored against them, I think?
Yes, yeah. I remember. God blimey, yeah, I forgot about that.
It was in the days they used to like Everton, but the fans just do me head in there. So they're worse at moaning than ball fans. The
problem is, I think they're more now since Liverpool have won the title.
Yeah, well, probably can't be easy to see, can it? But it's like a friendly rivalry there, I suppose, because a lot of people live in the same town, don't they? So, well, obviously it is the same town as it is just Liverpool, really, isn't it? I'm not too great on my geography, but I know if there is a little part called Liverpool.
Right then, what about these last two of the Saturday? Swansea at home to Southampton.
Be a good game. I can't remember the manager. Russell Martin trying to play the right way. Possession stats for them are ridiculous. I think he's playing the new age of football manager. He's just to try and keep the ball for 80%. Then, but they just need to be a bit more potent with it. I think they pass a bit too much. But he's got the right idea. He's got a bit of a Wenger touch about him, trying to get that football playing. Again, we'll mention that in the Championship.
He's a good old player though, as well, really, for Derby, wasn't he?
As Russell Martin, Chris Martin, you're thinking of.
Is it?
Chris Martin, yeah, you're thinking of. Is Russell Martin's a centre half? He's played for Norwich.
Norwich. I've gone wrong way around. Norwich centre back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
He's one of them. He's one that you probably thought never make it Premier League level, and he had a good couple of years at. Now trying.
Do you know what? At that time when Norwich were like a lot better than they are now, you know, when they come up, I mean, they still go down, but they'd always be pulling a lot more points and finishing like third bottom, you know, like third from bottom instead. You know, they looked all right back then. They had some half decent players back then, you know. Yeah, Martin, that's right. Norwich, can't blame it.
There's too many of them in there. Sometimes I'll sort of mention
them.
No, I don't think they are. But they do look alike a bit.
They do look alike. They do look a bit alike, don't they?
I'll have to do some research on it after. I think it'd have been mentioned surely if they're related, but
Yeah.
I've never heard it mentioned.
No. Yeah, but I fancy Southampton, mate. Southampton is strong. I mean, like, although they're struggling, they're just like the draw specialist. They don't look like losing many.
Yeah.
Hasselhill's like really got them like gritty and.
Yeah, they got again another team that always brings up good youth players as well. So I'd imagine you'll see a few like maybe Will Smallbone coming through and that, and I'm not sure whether Obafemi is still there, the striker they had.
He was the FA Cup specialist, wasn't he?
I think Hasenhuttl you can see in. I think they had a run to the quarters. I think a couple of years ago, and you could see how much he really wanted to win that cup as well. So he'll take it seriously. Yeah. Should see a Southampton win, but it'll be a good game as well.
The last game of Saturday, then Leeds, the 5:45 kickoff. Don't understand that 15-minute difference, fodder. You know,
this is what I hate about third round. Now it's all scattered about everywhere, isn't it? And I'd just love them all to be at 3 o'clock. A couple on the Sunday, and that's it. Now you got Friday, Saturday lunch, 3 o'clock, evening, night.
You almost got to commit a whole day, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just all money, isn't it? So.
Of course it is. Of course it is. And wait a couple of years down the line, everything will be on Amazon.
Yeah.
Everything.
It will.
All the time. It'll be like Amazonville. Right, and that is Yeovil at home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth will win that. Yeah, I don't give Yeovil any hope for that whatsoever. I've seen them.
Bournemouth have been notoriously pretty poor in the FA Cup, but that's mainly under Eddie Howe. So see how Scott Park takes it.
Got a chance then.
Yeah, you can't ever say that anyone's going to be a dead sort. I mean, probably Chelsea against Chesterfield.
Yeah, they're a dead certain to be Yeovil.
Yeah, I think
they're a dead certain to be Yeovil. Got a lot of respect for the South Country and that, but
you cut off the word country a bit early then, didn't you?
Yeah, the West Country.
The South Country.
South Country. All right then. So let's jump to 12:30 kickoff on the Sunday, which is Luton at home to Harrogate. This is my kind of game.
Yeah, I think Luton sort of got that ground that gives you that feel as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, like old school FA Cup.
Yeah.
Like going back to the days of Mark Hateley and Danny Wilson.
That's going to be too far back for me, but
yeah.
I remember the days.
That was my first ever Man United match. That
was it.
Luton, yeah.
At Old Trafford or at Luton's ground?
Yeah. 5-0.
They should have given you a bit more feel and took you to Kenilworth, shouldn't they?
Yeah. Do you know what? Back then as well, I tell you what, they looked all right as well, Luton.
Was it in the Premier League then when the is that way? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You can't actually believe it was in. I think there was in the actual. Was it the old Division 1 or was it?
No. Do you know what? It was the old Division 1.
Was it?
Because they didn't do the Premiership. They got relegated, didn't they?
Just before.
Yeah. And then that's when I gone for my first match, and then they went into Premier League. I'm sure that's right. Anyway, I am absolutely sure that's right.
Might have just missed it. It was either that or there was in the first year. I can't remember. You had teams like Swindon up there and that, didn't you? And
yeah, with Jan Ager Fjortoft. I remember him as a player, mate.
There's a few of them played over here, weren't there? Fjortoft. I think there's about 3 or 4 of them, and the flows and all that.
Yeah. Right, Luton Town. I want to have a look at this in a minute because I could be wrong, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether it was it was definitely very early 90s, wasn't it? So if you get
right, let's have a look at this then.
I've got them then as 91, 92 here as a Premier League.
Oh, my cracked form. Look at that. Sorry, guys. I'm just like a tramp with my cracked form. It's only just nice and fresh, that, by the way. So anyway, Luton Town in the league.
I think they missed out by a year by the look of it.
I think it did. They did, mate. Yeah. Because I did go to a few games before the Premier League.
I mean, that's just the novelty of the name of the league. In their history, if you was the Premier League's always been the top league. So if it was even called Division 1 back in the day, you can't ever take away the played in the top division. So
exactly. It was the Premier League in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just under a different name. So
right, here we go. Resurgence and Fulton on league. Here we go. This was him.
Yeah, they did have.
Was relegated from the top division at the end of the 91-92 season and sank to the third tier 4 years later. Luton stayed in the third tier second division until relegation at the end of 2000-2001 season under the management of Joe Kinnear.
Well, that don't surprise me.
I realised that. Joe Kinnear. So he must have left Wimbledon and gone to Luton then.
Yeah. And then he popped up at somehow managed to get a job at Newcastle for a bit, didn't he? So
yeah, they're like that was really weird because there was at the time when they were getting Bruce Rio, but not Bruce. What was he called? Not Bruce Rio. What was he called? Glenn Roder.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, they were getting managers like that at the time, weren't they?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and the best story I've read of Joe Kinnear was he noticed a player in the Championship who caught his eye. By the name of Shane Ferguson, the left winger. He says, I want to buy him. And they said, he's our player, Joe. He's out on loan.
That's mint.
So that's why it doesn't surprise me. But Joe Kinnear took Luton into the National League.
Do you know what? I never knew this, actually. They replaced Kinnear with Mike Newell. Who did Mike Newell play for?
Blackburn. I remember him playing Blackburn. He played for Everton or Liverpool as well when he was younger.
For Everton. I don't know about Liverpool. I think he did play for Everton though, didn't he?
I'm sure he was a Scouse lad, wasn't he? I'll tell you, but when he was starting out in management, I thought he was a really good young manager at the time, and then he's just gone off the face of the earth now. I don't know whether he's still managing lower league, but he was doing some good stuff as a manager. Looked really impressive, but just one of those you never hear of again, no?
No, it's a shame. It's a shame because you have like hold high hopes for these kind of people, don't you? To see them more top leagues at some stage because you've heard of them playing years ago. Because like you think about it in our time, you know, and obviously you look in the 90s and the noughties and pardon me, but you'd never heard of all players, all managers there and there's players, had you?
No. I think I suppose that's a part of what era you grow up in, isn't it? And then I'm going for that one where I'm seeing players retire, and you know, probably like 20 years then, like I mentioned Russell Martin, people are like, who was he when he was a player?
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm seeing all these from when they were players and becoming managers. It's quite weird to see, really.
But to be honest, obviously, because I'm that tiny little bit older than you, not too much, but I've been seeing it. But then the worst, which makes you feel really old, is when you start seeing the likes of Rooney, Lampard, Solskjaer, and all these kind of managers, and you're like, oh, no, I'm well old.
Especially saying, I can still remember Rooney's debut, so I say quickly time goes, isn't it?
It flies, doesn't it?
16, so ridiculous.
Right, let me crack on anyway. So here's a game for you. Cardiff at home to Preston. Preston.
Yeah, usually the Championship ties end up in the draw. Some of them, then you watch it again then after that. So we'll see if Ryan Lowe still want to know what he's got available to him in this team, so I might rotate a little bit. But maybe. Cardiff struggling big time. So
yeah, they are hugely. Charlton at home to Norwich.
I think Johnny Jackson might have had a spell at Norwich on loan when he was younger, so it could be a bit of a reunion for him. Don't take me for granted on that, but I'm sure he had a couple of loan spells out when he was a Spurs kid, Johnny Jackson.
Maybe.
The Charlton manager.
I don't know that. I'll research that one though. Right, what about Liverpool home to Shrewsbury?
Will they postpone the game? I bet they won't for this one, will they?
Oh, because they'll be a walkover.
Yeah. Well, they're just annoyed. It's annoying me with all these postponements and that, and like the call for the Arsenal game off, but they won't call for this one off, and they'll play this even if they go and play the kids. So.
Calling the Arsenal one off because Arsenal are in really good form. And they know that if they draw or lose, the title is really over. The icing on the cake. Unlucky for another year, lads. Try a better luck next time. United are catching you. No. No, I'm lying now. I had to throw something in, you know. Right, Stoke at home to Leyton Orient. Stoke have looked a lot better.
They did at the start of the season. I think they've had a little bit of a drop off, but
they look better though.
Yeah, Leyton Orient have, I think, got a good manager at League Two level with Kenny Jackett.
They've been like knocking on door for it a bit the last couple of years, really, Leyton Orient.
Yeah, I think this could be there. I did have them at the start of the season because there is 3 places up for grab in League Two for automatic, isn't there? So I did have them at the start of the season to go up. Could be a shock. It wouldn't surprise me. You will see some in this round of fixtures, and that could be the one where it will probably pop up with a 1-0, 2-1 win, something like that. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on that.
Orient. Right, what about Spurs at home to Morecambe? Morecambe have been brilliant. They've played some really good football, Morecambe, you know. I'm quite impressed at the rise they've had, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was the surprise package to go up from League Two. Everyone had them to go down from League Two to the National League last season. They got promoted. They're holding their own in League One. I think they're above the relegation zone at the moment, so having a good season. Just sort of like the new Accrington Stanley are overachieving a bit, I suppose, but good on them.
Do you know what? They both remind me of each other as well, heavily. Accrington Stanley and Morecambe. They're very much of the same ilk, and you know, you're getting the similar kind of thing from both of these teams. Where Accrington have obviously progressed a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, but they're not far behind there, Morecambe. So
no, not at all. Not at all.
If not in front of them, maybe at the moment. I can't remember what the positions are at the moment, but they might even be in front of them.
Are they? I don't know.
It might be, but it's just, you know, it's going to be close in there. If you're going to get that league table up, then I'd imagine they ain't going to be too far behind.
Yeah, I agree. Right, what about West Ham at home to Leeds?
Be a tasty one, won't it? I think depends who wants it more, but West Ham thinking more about Champions League might open it up for Leeds a little bit.
Thinking more about Europa League.
Yeah, well, yeah. They've been in bad form. They need to find, well, they've sort of got back to the
I just think they're tired, mate.
Yeah, they probably are, yeah.
That same team's been playing every game.
Yeah.
By the odd injury here and there, and Vlasic or whatever coming in or whatever, you know, or Lanzini popping in there. And they had a couple of injuries at the back, hadn't they? Obviously, Ogbonna was injured, and then was Thingy out as well for a bit. What's he called? This other fella. I'm back with him. Diop.
Yeah, I think Diop's just struggled to get back in the team, to be honest with you. I just don't think they fancied him as much. I mean, Craig Dawson's been in ahead of him, so he's a good
but then again, he came back in for Ogbonna though.
Yeah,
he'd been removed from the team, and then they put him back in when Ogbonna went out. But Craig Dawson's a cracking defender, and very when he plays, it's always worth a side bet of putting him on to score.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, Diop's a big threat as well in terms of his presence, but he, you know, you got Dawson and what's his name there, Bonner, who's out for the season there. But yeah, they are quite a threat from the set players, which might be quite good against Leeds because obviously they had defensive issues and.
Yeah, they're not the best with set pieces really defensively, are they? So
yeah, so that could be where it's won maybe if he puts that. I'd imagine Diop should get a game this game. So.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll try a couple of young lads out. You've got a couple as well. Not too many. There was a lad they brought on a few weeks back, actually.
I can't think, like you say, they've played pretty much the same lineup, haven't they? So when you're probably a bit ignorant sometimes to the youngsters on the subs bench, like when the name just doesn't really pop out to you. So
yeah,
I can't think of it. I can remember the lad called Nathan Holland there who sporadically came on. I think he had a few loan spells. He's about 23 now, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone. Usually when they've hit that age now, they haven't made it the first team.
I'm not sure he with that name that I can remember anyway.
He's probably left.
So you're saying you fancy West Ham?
Yes, I think so, but it's like I say, it's hard to make any of these predictions. It is probably the toughest one you could make.
I think
really.
when you look at someone like Leeds, though, they're going to go big guns on this because realistically, it's the best they can kind of play for, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're still in a bit of trouble in the Premier League, but, win does the world of good. So if you beat a decent West Ham side, then it gives you a bit of momentum for the league. So.
Exactly what I was thinking. So, right, then your team, Wolves on to Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think we'll play mainly a second show. I think you'll see a fair few first-team regulars. So you'll probably see Cody still playing and who had a loan spell at Sheffield United. So probably want to play him for a bit of a reunion. And then I think maybe Neves or Matinho play one of the two, but you'll see Dendoncker in, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think he'll play one nearly under Dendoncker. I think, and to be honest, he could. To be honest, he probably deserves to get a bit of a shot again, really, because when he does come in, he's very effective, isn't he?
Well, even if Matinho and Neves play, it wouldn't surprise me to see him in the back three because we've lost Bolly and Sace now, so he could be one of the defenders.
Yeah.
Saying
that, got in the air as well, isn't he, Dendoncker?
Yeah, he's a big presence. Yeah, definitely. But both ends of the pitch, really, in terms of aerial threat. We have called back two players who have impressed on the loan spells as well. Probably got to apologise to Blues and like Birmingham and Coventry fans because I think they like the players that we've had, but we've called them back because it doesn't look like we're going to spend in the window. We've had Dion Sanderson, who's a centre half.
Was he
highly rated? Yeah, he's. Do you remember Tessa Sanderson, the Olympian?
Yeah.
He's the nephew.
Oh.
Yeah, my mum knows his family. I've never met them personally myself, but I've
Mrs. Esther mingling with bigwigs.
He has got a big wig himself. He's got like big long dreadlocks, blonde dreadlocks all over his head.
Wigging.
Yeah, not just as a footballer, sounds like a proper, really nice chap as well. So, sort of maybe in the Cody mode, I suppose. The way he goes about. Yeah. And then Giles, who I think he was second highest assist maker in the Championship, which is not bad going for a left wing back. Loves to put a crossing. He's quite old-fashioned the way he plays because he crosses from deep. He tries to beat his man as well and get the crossing from the byline. So,
I like that.
Yeah, it could be something that we're calling out for Jimenez, but Jimenez needs to be because I texted you in the week, didn't I? So, Jimenez wasn't attacking that 6-yard box, but not only him, you needed someone else doing it. You can't just have him.
Yeah, that's it. You can't put everything on him just doing it. He's lost a yard as well, hasn't he, a little bit? But he's not. I don't know how to explain it. You're just missing that 6-yard box Gary Lineker striker, aren't you? Because the amount of times that ball goes across the 6-yard box is ridiculous from Wolves. Ridiculous.
Well, this is the thing. You get players in it. We're going to score so much more goals because Neves and Matinho are pretty much the same player, both deep-lying playmakers, if you like, or defensive midfielders. They're not going to be in there. I mean, Neves has tried to venture forward a little bit more these days, but he's not in the box. He's always on the edge of the box.
Yeah, he's not going to go into the box, is he, ever?
And I mean, if Traore is playing, he hasn't gone up there to be in the right place.
Yeah, but I was really surprised he didn't start him the other day. I
I think we played that perfectly. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I do prefer him from the bench when defences are tiring a bit and he can get. I mean, it worked, but
bullying Luke Shaw. Pulled him.
He.
So, do you know what? I nearly messaged you actually when Susie come on and then Matic brought him down and got boxed. I was like, I was like, there we go.
I'd imagine Fabio Silva, I thought he was brilliant when he came on. Best I've seen him so far.
Yeah, but I don't rate him at all, I'm afraid. Honestly, he's probably the only player in that Wolves squad that I've seen that I've not actually took to at all. He's
had a lot of doubters, but I believe in him. I do, and I see what there is going to be a player there if you give him the chance. His goal scoring record ain't that bad, to be honest, considering he's had a lot of appearances off the bench. He's only getting sporadic minutes, so his appearance to goals looks worse because he's only coming on for a couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But when he covered for Val, I thought he got a lot of pelters for an 18-year-old kid who's not great in stature in his build in his first year. But you can see he's built up his strength now, and run of games, I think you'll see it in him. You don't get counted in to be the golden boy for the youngsters for nothing. It's going to be an hard argument to win, but I think if he gets to run of games,
he's going to be on my flop list. Next year, 2023. So who's on your flop list this year? Fabio Silva.
I believe in him. I really do. I'm one of the few.
You do, because I don't, mate.
He will. He'll come good. If it's not for Wolves, it'll be for the next team. It will be a good player.
Yeah, honestly, it might be for someone back. We might go back to Porto or something like that, and start doing some of that. But he ain't doing it at Wolves, mate. I'm afraid.
I think if he gets that run of games, if Raul gets out of it, I mean, to be honest, Raul probably on the brink of being dropped for him if Silva makes an impression at the weekend. So we'll see. We'll see.
You could be right there, though, because Jimenez has struggled a little bit.
So you got a glimpse of him getting back to his best and then went off. So I suspect us to probably win the game. Won't be easy. Wouldn't surprise me if we go 1-0 down. Sheffield ain't got a bad squad at all. Still kept most of the Premier League team. But Morgan Gibbs-White is the main one missing from that team because he plays the Wolves, so can't play against his parent club.
Can't play against you lot, can he?
Yeah, he's been scintillating for them this season. There is, if I was to go back on my Facebook one, I'll still stick by it as well. Another probably controversial one, that he will play for England one day. Because on his day, he can do it.
I hope you're right. As I say, it'd be nice to see some of these teams like Wolves and who else? Probably like even when Leeds at times get players thrown in. Calvin Phillips definitely deserves to be in the England squad, but it's nice to see Wolves getting some players in there, mate. If they can.
Tillman doesn't go in the next England squad. I don't know what he's going to do, to be honest with you.
I think he will.
Yeah. I mean, if Tyrone Mings can get in there,
He's way better than him.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, mate. Head and shoulders above him already.
Yeah, I'll probably get pelters from Villa fans saying no way, but if you was to watch them both at the live game, I'll tell you, you'll find
pelters.
Yeah.
Who gives
just as a neutral, that kid's come on leaps and bounds. For what I mean,
yeah, honestly, he's one for future him, but you've got to keep hold of him.
He's never had a bad game. He's come from Maidstone, He never thought he'd ever see him in the Wolves shirt in a competitive game. He's just
got to keep hold of these players, though.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the thing, As soon as you have a good season like Aït-Nouri as well, got to keep hold of these players. I like them.
Yeah.
I rate Wolves, mate, and I think they're just literally a proper out-and-out striker away from doing some bits.
A dynamic midfielder, I think, just someone who else is going to help the striker. But yeah, we will need another striker eventually because
you need an out-and-out box finisher.
Yeah.
If you can get somebody in that box, you will score lots of goals because they've creative-wise, Adama Traore, whether it's Moutinho, whether it's Neves, whether it's coming from the left side as well with Prudence, or obviously Neto when he's played. They put some balls in, mate. All of them. And the amount of times, even Nuri, when he's played, he goes bombing on, gets the ball in the box. Like it. Honestly, I really do. But there's just nobody there to just go. Phew.
Nah, it is frustrating to see because it's been the same for 4 years now. So.
Oh, yeah.
So you do want to see a little bit of change. Maybe if he's backed, then he can. But he's got his hands tied at the moment. You know, they're not backing. That's why we've called Giles and Sanderson, because that's just clearly telling you we ain't going to sign no one this window.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, it depends whether they've probably got to sell to buy, haven't they? So it depends whether if they're planning on keeping the likes of Neves, because he's on United's radar again, mate. Honestly, he really is. And
every time he performs, though, he'll go on the big team's radar, won't he?
Yeah, but I think just in general, they've been on about trying to find some. We're desperate for some midfielders, mate. We really are. Honestly,
it'd be perfect for Man U. He is what you're missing, but you know, he's not going to stay at Wolves forever. I'm still surprised he's here now, to be honest with you. You know, when we signed him,
that says a lot about his loyalty, though.
Yeah, he come out the other day and he says he absolutely loves the city, you know, and the fans and that. Maybe just giving us a last little kiss goodbye, I think, before he does the inevitably go, so we don't boo the life out of him.
Shithouse.
Yeah, probably the summer you'll probably see it, because this is the best I've seen him so far this season. He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's literally is. Honestly, I've watched him a fair few times this year, and he's looked dynamite every game. And he just creates so much. He's just, first thought, he's get that ball forward all the time, and I like that. Whereas we just go sideways, sideways, and we take too many touches. That's one thing that frustrates the hell out of me, watching us against you lot.
Yeah, I was like Greenwood and Sancho would love him for the balls of pings over the top into the diagonal. So, and Ronaldo himself, obviously, he's played with him at Portugal. So,
yeah,
but he'd probably be gone by the time Neves gets him.
Hopefully. See, I think the fact that we brought him in has kind of changed our game, which has ultimately got Solskjaer sacked, which is ultimately causing Ranieri loads of problems. I think because the problem is it's already. You can't play. Oh, just wait. I'll go on in a bit. So let me just finish this last one here anyway, because before my battery dies on here. So Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, which is the 5:10 kickoff on the Sunday.
Yeah, it could be a potential upset. I think they've played each other a few times over the years in the FA Cup, haven't they?
I think Nottingham Forest are looking good, mate.
Yeah, definitely improving. Probably be one of them for the late surge for the Championship playoffs.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Lad
baby will be happy, won't he?
Who's that?
Lad baby.
Yeah, old lad baby. It'd be great to see them back in the Premier League, to be honest with you. You need teams like that in the Premier League. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a long time since the days of Dave Bessant and co.
Yeah, should be about 20 odd years, hasn't it? So over 20 years.
Easy.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them back eventually.
Roy Keane was there. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was the first time around, but obviously they'd been back a couple of times after Keane had left, hadn't he? Then I think
they didn't go back up though.
They went back up a couple of times in the late 90s.
Once.
They had like a one season.
Once.
Yeah. Once or twice they went up. They had a bit of a yo-yo spell. But since it's got to be I'd say probably about 99, 2000. I think we ain't seen them in the Premier League since then.
Yeah, so. I think maybe just before.
Yeah. I was thinking like Chris Williams was there at the time, I think. That's how far back.
Williams, oh, blimey, yeah, and Stern John. Do you remember him?
I think he might have been in their relegation season, to be honest, yeah. Yeah, I do. He was at the Blues for a bit as well.
Yeah. So, the last one, so I can elaborate slightly. Man United at home to Aston Villa on Monday night, 5-8 kickoff, and we're going to get beaten.
Yeah, I think a Villa win. I think if Villa see the way they performed, and the way they've got to get reaction, Man U, but they've got to actually show that they mean it, haven't they? So, I think
they ain't showing it for this manager, mate, and it's a shame as well. We've finally got someone who's a proper football, out-and-out football person, and we're going to throw him under the bus like they all do. But hopefully not. Hopefully it goes the other way and he starts throwing some of these players under the bus instead because they ain't fit to wear that shirt. And I feel sorry for these people that save up all the money on a weekly basis and spend the weekend going to a United match, putting everything into that. I get frustrated when I'm just watching it. I set my weekend around just sitting down and watching it for a bit. You know, these days, obviously, long gone are the days of me getting up there and going to the games these days. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't commit to traveling 300 mile now to go and watch that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd literally lose my shit, mate. Honestly, I would, because I'm not bothered about us winning every game. God, I like the excitement of the Premier League when people are losing and it's tight and, you know, there's a bit of a fight for these positions and whatever, especially like the top four, getting in the top four now. We've got Tottenham, Arsenal, United, West Ham, you know, there's lots fighting about Wolves, even, they're up there, you know, so any of these at the minute could get a top four place. So, and that's exciting. That's what I like to see. But the football is grim.
Yeah.
It
doesn't look great, does it?
You could not pay to watch that. I couldn't pay to watch it. I wouldn't send my biggest enemy to Old Trafford at a minute, you know, to go and watch them. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I tell you what, I'd get rid of a load of them. I'd get rid of 6, 7 first-team players. I'd get rid of all these big earners and start afresh and start going, right, listen, you're only going to be here, A, on merit, B, because you want to play for this club.
Yeah.
We've lost that. We've lost it.
They'll send the shitters up, a lot of them, if the big earners went, wouldn't it? Because they'd be like, well, he's more positioned attainable here now, so...
Do you know what I do? I genuinely do. I'd probably start revoking some contracts, Pete.
Yeah, I've always said this, like things like for the amount they earn, you've got to put fines in place to for match performance. If someone ain't earned the money, then they've got to be, you know, they've got to be made to earn that money. You know, you can't just walk out with 200-300 grand and then think you own the club.
Yeah, and not be arsed on weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I honestly, I'd put a cap on wages as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
You know, that is the way. With United, you've got to get rid of these egos, you've got to get rid of these big wages, and you've got to put a cap on it. And it'll make people, all these big wigs, and it'll change the way that people look at United, and it'll change the way United look at players. So, you know, cap it, 150 grand, that's your limit, mate.
And if they're ever going to do, now's the best time to do, because Messi and Ronaldo are coming to the end. There ain't many other players in the world that you're going to say are really worth that, really. So
I'd be like, bye, Bruno. Honestly, although he's so productive, it all revolves around him. And I don't like that on the team as a team. And he sulks and he's like, you know, and it doesn't do it for me. As I say, they were the big Bruno train when he first come in. And obviously watching him at Sporting as well, he looked a good one, but you just could see it, couldn't you? You could just see what we're going to unfold with him. And Ronaldo would be gone. Bruno would be gone. David De Gea would probably be moved on, although he's been our best player by a country mile. He's on 250 grand a week. So 250 grand a week. So he should be our best player. You know, 250 grand. And then you've got Dean Henderson, he's understudy on 150 grand a week. But that's your limit. That's your cap. So that's... I'd be on clear out, mate. Luke Shaw, sorry, mate. You're on your bike, kid. Wan-Bissaka, you're on your bike, kid. Harry Maguire, sorry, mate, you're gone. They're certain. McTominay, probably keep him around as a bit of a utility player. Fred, you got to go, mate. Go back to Brazil, go Flamengo or some shit, whatever. I don't care. Just don't ever come near Manchester again. And it's like, it's embarrassing. Rashford doesn't even look half the player he was. Greenwood playing for himself, although I wouldn't get rid of him. I'd keep him because out and out, he's going to be our number 9 one day. So But obviously that's been dented by Ronaldo coming in. So there's just so many problems there at a minute. I could pick a team. I could pick a team that I really, really like, which doesn't involve half of these. You know, if you switched it up, you know, I could pick a really good side that I think, and that would include Phil Jones, and probably at the back with Varane. Because honestly, I think Lindelof's probably not going to play for a while, maybe because of his breathing difficulties. I reckon that'll come out in the news soon.
Yeah, we'll see, won't we?
Because I wonder why, obviously, if you've got to go to Phil Jones when Bailly's gone to the AFCON, then... But
he'll probably come
Phil
back
Jones,
in.
I salute you, my son. Honestly, he was one of 3 people that I could have given credit to in that Wolves game, and that was David De Gea, him, and Mason Greenwood, and they brought him off.
Got a few views for that, didn't they?
Oh, mate, I tell you what, I almost turned it, that. I think that was the moment which kind of fans went, what the is this? Should have brought Sancho off. He just didn't even have a sniff at that stage.
Nah.
So anyway, right, but Villa all over that. Sorry, Villa fans, I think you're going to absolutely wipe the floor with us under Gerrard, and I hope I'm wrong, but I probably won't be. And that's Old Trafford too. So right, let's move on, and we're going to go through each of our 11s. We've picked a team full of.
With me 1 minute. I didn't put my charger on my laptop.
Just get a battery message.
I just noticed it down the bottom, so.
Yeah, we're going through a team, our 11 of Premiership flops. So I've gone with an 11 of players. There's some playing still, but some not. Or might be, but obviously, don't know. That are currently playing in the Premiership. Obviously, like teams that are currently playing in the Premiership, should I say?
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I think most of them, I think I've had, I think every team is still in the Premier League as it stands. But you're going back about, I think as far as, I'm trying to think the earliest one, probably 1999, I think.
I think mine are around about that kind of limit, I suppose, as well. Right then. Well, how about, shall we go in one player position at a time each?
Yeah, we'll go for the positions and we'll just roll it over. What form have you put out, like a type of formation or?
Old school 4-4-2, me, dude.
4-4-2. So mine's sort of like a 3-5-2.
Well, not a 4-2-2-2.
No, after watching Man U the other day, no.
I don't think anyone in history will ever play that formation ever again.
So yeah, basically, obviously, we picked this on terms of mainly of players who come with a reputation probably to come and be a big signing for the club and just never worked out for them, I suppose. I mean, by my own, there's probably a couple of them really harsh on it, and I'll elaborate on it when I'm.
Right, so let's start with goalkeeper then, Lee. Who are you going with?
The one I've gone with was the goalkeeper. I remember watching him in the Europa League, thinking what a real. I mean, like he was the reason why they got so far. PSV Eindhoven was Aurelio Gomez.
Oh yeah.
It really impressed me. I was really excited to see him getting the transfer at the time because of how well he was influencing their games. He was the key part of them going so far, and he was throwing the ball over halfway line. I was like, I've never seen a goalkeeper like this before. And some of the saves he was making, he just looked like a giant of a bloke. He come over to Spurs, and it just didn't start off well for him at all, did it? It was just howler after howler. I don't think he ever really found his feet at Spurs. He had a couple of good games, obviously. I think.
He got Watford after that.
He did, yeah.
He done well for them.
He got better for Watford, yeah.
Hmm.
I think most players on this list definitely had games, probably everyone, because they should be classed as near to world-class talent, really.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely had games, so it's about the inconsistency of it, and there's not many goalkeepers I can think of, to be honest with you. I've done a list of ones that could have come close once we've heard yours, and
Breeze through them quick.
who have you gone for?
Massimo Taibi.
Yeah, so who's the next one I had on the list?
I'm glad I'm taking your backups off as well then. And started off first game, belting. Second game, shocking. Never to be played again. Like, what's this guy? Ruined my summer holiday. That I was away watching that match. I was in Mallorca. Oh man, I tell you what, it was the worst display I've ever seen from a goalkeeper in my entire.
Did he cost 5 million? Did he something like that?
Yeah.
So that's quite a lot. Quite a lot in 2000. That wasn't it? So
it meant to be the big thing. Like I was like, yeah, it was finally replacing Schmeichel.
It took a while for that to happen, didn't he? He had Boob stepping like Van der Her and
yeah.
I'm trying to think of Bartes obviously came in.
Bosnich.
Bosnich, yeah.
Big snitch, yeah.
He's another one I've got on my list for his Chelsea spell.
Oh yeah, that were awful. That's when he went on sniff, wasn't it?
That was it, yeah, and he got sacked for being on the coke.
Bell end.
The other one I can think most recently was Roberto at West Ham last season, was it, or the season before?
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking. He just couldn't control his area at all. He couldn't catch a ball.
He were a bad one, actually, mate. Yeah, he could have been in there, actually. I forgot about him.
Yeah. I think the good thing on his part is he came as a free transfer, and he probably didn't come with the expectation of being their number one goaler.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But he was shocking goalkeeper, and he didn't last long, obviously.
Right back.
I haven't got a right back. I've got 3 centre defenders.
All right, well, how do we do this then? Right, go with one of your centre backs then.
So I can, I'll go for it.
Tell me your back 3 then. Go for it.
Okay. The first one was a guy who signed for Newcastle, and again, sort of like in the same mould as Gomez, was a real standout for UEFA Cup as it was at the time. For that season, I remember watching Real Mallorca, and he was just. You've
got the same as me. I've put him at fullback though. You're going to say Marcelino.
Yeah. I'd have him. Definitely a centre half in my opinion, but
yeah, well,
you have to fit him in, didn't you?
Only because I saw him play out there actually.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
He's brilliant, absolute beast for Mallorca.
He was, yeah.
He played at the back of Ivan Campo, didn't he?
He did, mate. Yeah. Oh, the good old days.
But yeah, I just thought, bloody hell, what's fun?
Stinker at Newcastle.
Yeah, I think he had a few injuries, didn't he? But he didn't go really well for him at all. He just never settled there. And again, probably most players on this list you're probably excited to see come over to see what they can do, and then it turns out to be as bad as that.
How many we're going to actually cross over here? It should be quite interesting.
Yeah. I say we haven't mentioned it. Yeah, we haven't mentioned it before then, so. We'll see what pops
who's accompanying Marcelino then?
Well, I almost went for a full back 3 of Newcastle players, but I thought I'd take one out because someone came up really late, which I'll mention on the last one. So the next one was Boomsong.
Oh.
John Alain Boomsong.
John Alain Boomsong, yeah. God blimey.
He was good at arcs. You're now Bassong you're thinking of. Another Newcastle player. You're thinking of Seb Bassong, aren't you? He played for Wolves as well.
Because I knew him. No, I didn't know where the Boomsong went to. Where else did he play? Did he not join another English team?
You might remember him at Rangers. Glasgow Rangers.
That could be where I'm thinking.
Because he was at Arcs there. He was being touted. He was with Philip Mexes at the time, and there's been touted as the future of French defence, I suppose. And Then he got to Rangers and he only lasted half a season at Rangers, and then Souness signed him because of how good he was. But he was playing in the Scottish League. But and then I think it was his debut. I think they just absolutely walked through him. And again, didn't last very long there. And from there, I couldn't tell you where he went. I couldn't tell you what happened to him. He probably
had to retire with that bad.
Probably went back to France somewhere, I'd imagine. But yeah, that's how badly it hit him, because I never heard of him again after that.
Liga 2.
The third centre half is I can't say his first name. There's Eliquim Mangala.
Oh, Mangala from City.
Yeah, over 40 million for him. Yeah. Never really stood out as any half decent to me.
Do you know what? He had a couple of games which he weren't too bad. He had a really good game against United as well once. Absolutely. Who was it? Who did he have in his pocket? It could have been Rooney, actually. Yeah, he had a blinder against us, and I thought, he looks all right. Eliaquim
Mangala. So he had the physique and of everything for a running and defender, but he just really looked uncomfortable on the ball to me. He never really looked like...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, just looked a bit uneasy. I wouldn't be able to trust him, I don't think. If we were linked with him a few times, couldn't get in the City team when we first went up. And at the time, I'd probably, that type of move for him probably had done the world of good.
Could have been a stepping stone then, couldn't it?
Yeah, but City spending 40 million on a player that barely ever really broke into the team, I thought, 40 million is probably nothing to City, but
it was back then.
Yeah. So it was... He makes the third spot in that defence.
Very good, very good, very good.
Who have you got in your defence?
So, start with my left back, obviously, Marcelino, Newcastle from Real Mallorca. Then, my right back, I went with Winston Bogarde.
Yes, he was on the list for a little bit and then he fell out of it.
Chelsea, wasn't it? And he came from Barca, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it was so much for bad performances. I think it was just the fact that he just rinsed the money out of the club.
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't. From how highly rated he was at that
never
time,
broke in. Yeah, injuries, contract issues,
struggled.
This was before Abramovich came as well.
Yeah, so that's some like decent wages at that time pre-Abramovich.
40 grand a week, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, a lot of money then, wasn't it?
Yeah, for 4 years was he there, I think.
Awful. I've gone with Gerard Piqué.
Really?
Man United.
Was he that poor? Was he or?
It's poor.
Yeah, I sort of like. I did notice his name on there, but I was thinking maybe a bit too harsh on the kid. But
mate, I'd never rated Piqué United. I couldn't believe we'd sold him to when he'd gone to Barcelona. I'm like, are they mad? And then ended up becoming like one of the best centre halves of the last 10 years, probably.
Probably a team that never really got tested defensively.
Yeah, I think that's it, really. A lot of it. But I suppose when you're playing in that kind of team and you're training with the best, then you're obviously going to improve anyway, unless you're an absolute tard anyway. But I think that's what happened with him, wasn't it? He'd done all right.
Yeah.
So, and completing that, I had Jerome Boateng.
Yes, I had him on my outside list. Became brilliant at Bayern, didn't he? And then
for City for a year, absolutely awful. And
yeah.
I remember him going by, and that was a similar kind of thing. I'm like, are they mad? What's wrong with these teams? And then they end up world beaters, and you're like, oh, God, blimey, where did that come from?
Again, he had the build, didn't he, to be a complete beast of a defender, and then it never really worked for him at City. So, no, good choice.
And you know what? And this is partly why I think United have been linked with Boateng so many times over the years. And I think he's just genuinely just been shit scared to come back to the Premier League because he knows he couldn't hack it.
Yeah. Some people are like that, in that you can tell. At least he's tried it and witnessed it, I suppose.
Like Messi. As if you couldn't leave Spain to come to England and you go France.
I know. I've said it for years, even when he was in his pomp, you know, you've got to try the English league to be
Class is the creme de la creme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why always Ronaldo gets more votes. I know he's had his tough time over the year, but
even still now, he's still tinging goals in Prem, and it's like, he's definitely the best for me, and in that thing. So so that's my back five.
Quickly whip off a few that I had on the list as well. So I had obviously I had Bogard and Boateng were my first two on there that you've put in. Chris Samba at QPR.
Yeah, no, but you know what? When he went to Blackburn, he was absolutely mega.
Yeah. Well, that's where he started in England, wasn't it? And he was brilliant, yeah. I think he went to Russia. So he went to Anzi
Makakala. Yeah, he went to Anzi Makakala, didn't he?
Yeah,
they
were big bucks, weren't they?
Silly money, wasn't he? And then they went into administration and they'll like, leave.
Robbie Carlos was there, wasn't he? He rinsed all the money out of them. And, he come back on, I think they signed him back for about 15 million QPR and on 110 grand a week. And
it was a waste of money, wasn't
it? Yeah. Well, at the time, you're probably thinking for how good he was for Blackburn, rather sign it, he'll keep us up now, but just went completely the other way. And,
opposite of the player he was, completely.
Yeah. Alan Hutton at Spurs.
Because where did were he at Forest?
I think he had a loan spell there, yeah. He come from Glasgow Rangers. But I even witnessed it for myself when he come up against us. We just absolutely rinsed him every time. And Matty Jarvis just had him just chasing his heels all the time. But he got better at Villa. When he got to Villa, I think he's a bit of a folk hero there, I suppose you called it. But yeah, he's at Spurs. He was out of his depth for that.
Yeah, he was crap though, wasn't he?
Everyone's favourite Titus Bramble. But I thought that'd be a bit harsh. For a lot of teams,
he's the worst. Who were I talking to? I was chatting to someone not so long ago. Were you going on about Titus Bramble? And I was like,
for a lot of teams, but I don't know where. I don't think it was an ongoing joke, but he got Player of the Year for most of his teams through his efforts. So he got it about 4 or 5 times.
Mate. He was a bad one.
Here's what.
Bramble. Oh, blimey.
Yeah, he was brilliant at Ipswich as well. Yeah. And got that step up and, struggled. Oh. Here's one for you. Roger Johnson at Wolves. 7.5 million transfer record at the time.
Yeah.
Turned up pissed to training.
From Birmingham.
Yeah. He was brilliant for Birmingham, Scott Dan. Again, Wolves bought the wrong one at the time. That was our old favourite, was to buy the wrong one. We had the choice of Leon Clark or Callum Wilson at one point, and we went for Leon Clark, who failed the first time.
I remember that.
We always do it. Pascal Segan, Arsenal.
Yeah, but I don't know whether he was a flop. He was just genuinely shit, wasn't he?
Also, Stepanovs was the same. These were probably two defenders.
Igor Stepanov. Yeah, he was a bad one and all. They've had some bad ones, though. What was he called? Mertesacker.
Well, he probably come with a big...
Turdasacker. What an absolute minger he was. That was... Oh, man, they've had some bad defenders in the time. And I don't think they've got any great ones. 2 great ones now, really. I'm not a massive... I like Ben White. I think he'll be all right. I don't think he's great. And that Gabriel Magalhaes, he came over and everyone's like United were after him. Everyone's going, yeah, this is the next big thing. And he ain't been all that, has he?
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of Gabriel. I probably haven't watched as much as Arsenal as I should do. So I probably need to look into it a bit more, see what they're actually like.
Arsenal, mate.
I think Arteta was boring the life out of me with it at first, but they've had a bit of a run. So. The last one I got on there was Roque Jr., who went to Leeds when the season went down, who came with a big reputation.
Yeah.
And struggled.
Santa Roque Jr.
Yeah, well, I don't know his full name, but
I think that's what it was. Santa Roque Jr.
Yeah, I just know him as Roque Jr., but he came with a big reputation, and then he was just pissed because they went down the same season as us. And I just remember watching that season. He just didn't help him out one bit, to be honest with you. That's what I've got on that list. On to midfielders.
Right, on to your midfielders. Are you going with 4 in midfield?
I think you've got a couple of the ones I've got on there. If you haven't, then they would have been close to making your team. Okay. I'm going to go for the Man United two here. They've Veron and Sanchez.
I've got Veron.
You gone Veron?
I put Sanchez up front.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, probably the one that I look on that list and think, what a signing for the Premier League. And then
I was so giddy when we got Veron.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, we got Veron. And then Keane ruined him.
I think he just struggled in general, didn't he? The lifestyle, everything, didn't he? And
ruined him in the changing rooms. That's what it was. Literally, fucking told him straight as well in the changing rooms, and that obviously kind of helps.
He probably didn't understand him, did he? He's going, "Get,
get," and he's like going, "You shit, get rid of the ball, pass the ball, greedy sod."
Yeah,
watched him, went to Old Trafford a few times and seen him. I tell you what, every time I went to Old Trafford, he looked mint there, honestly.
Did they?
Yeah, honestly, because and then when I didn't go to Old Trafford, and then you're watching it via obviously Match of the Day or on the telly or whatever, whether they're playing live, and you're a bit like, he looks shit. He looked really shit, but I liked him, and yeah, but he's on my list. He's in my centre midfield. So go on then. Crack on then. You've gone for Alex?
Alexis Sanchez, because of basically he just did not work out at all, did he, for the money? And
he was only there for the money, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on fire for Arsenal. He was literally carrying them on his own.
Yeah, he was.
I thought, what a signing, really. You know, this will get Man United back up to where they need to be, and I don't think he was even interested. Like I say, probably all to do with the money, wasn't it? I think he just got too much to his head. But
he was trying to start getting into acting and that. He started taking over what he was thinking about, wasn't it? And it's like, come on, mate.
Yeah, it was really, really poor signing. One of the biggest disappointments.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Kewell when he went to Liverpool.
Yeah. Rubbish for Liverpool. He was mint for Leeds.
Yeah, outstanding for Leeds. One of my favourite players to watch in the Premier League at the time.
Yeah. He married that bird from Emmerdale, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he's still with her. I think. Yeah.
I remember in all FHM magazines as a kid, I was like, "Cool." So I think I had a poster on my wall or something when I was about 13.
Is this topless Harry Kewell over?
No, not Harry Kewell, other one.
I love the Australian boy. Yeah, brilliant player for Leeds. Terrible for Liverpool. Never got going at all. Robinho. I think he had a great start, didn't he? A little flurry.
And then turned into dog shit. Yeah, I know.
I think he actually, I do probably believe the story. He probably thought he was on for Man United. There has been that rumour, hasn't there? But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was true.
Who?
Where's this famous Rizzo was called?
He was the first signing of that next era, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, this is
big one, yeah.
Start of things, they're going to start looking for these superstars or bigger players than that. And they got likes of Bellamy and people in. And
yeah, and it just, again, he just went all the way then, didn't he? I think his exit was even discreet and no one really cared that he left the Premier League. So I just can't remember. I think he went back to Brazil or something, didn't he? So no, I don't.
I think it was somewhere like Flamengo. Was that not Fluminense or?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, that shows how bad the signing was then, doesn't it? Because if you're signing and everyone's chanting about your signing for the club, and then you go back to, what probably most Brazilians see as their retirement league when they're going back home, I suppose. Making
like naff money, but still decent thousands, I suppose, isn't it?
He should have been in the prime of his career, so I think he was still young when he left them. And the last one I've gone for is probably the harshest one on the list. Is Mesut Ozil.
That's harsh.
It is harsh.
That is harsh because when he came to Arsenal, he was absolutely mint, and he just turned into shit. It was just because Arsenal was shit that he turned into shit. So I think Arsenal ruined him rather than the other way around.
I think probably the one thing that influenced the decision was seeing him live, because off the ball he was just lazy. It's like he didn't give a toss about it.
Yeah, but in the earlier days he did.
Yeah.
In the early days, the first couple of years at Arsenal, he really did. And but it all depends on the players around you, I suppose, doesn't it? A lot of the time.
Yeah, the reason why he's made this list is probably the one who should have made the most legacy out of the ones that have come into the Premier League, really, with the reputation he had. He should have been leaving a Premier League legend. We can't even leave a Premier League legend. He'd be a known player for being a decent player in it, but had his fair few good years, but then towards the end it was just really poor. And yeah, he makes a list for that reason, 50 million and a couple of bad seasons over.
Bad do when you're getting outshone by Santi Cazorla.
Yeah, he is a good player, isn't he? But obviously Ozil should have been the man.
Little chubby nut. You were funny, him.
Have you got in your midfield?
Right, well, I've gone with Juan Veron in the centre of midfield, obviously came from Lazio. I've gone with Alberto Aquilani at Liverpool.
Yes. Yeah, did look at him. I've seen him live as well, and he was shit.
He was rubbish. There's a couple of Liverpool players I could have put in there. That what was the other fella called? Ended up being a mega player. I'll remember it. I've gone with David Bentley.
Yes, when he went to Spurs.
And he went to Spurs.
Any good thing he did there was that 40-yarder against.
Yeah, he never did anything again.
Had his Beckham moment, and it was all done.
And Yannick Bolasie at Everton.
Yeah, I did notice those. Those been 25 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was rubbish.
Limited on his skills, I think.
Though, but when I watched him and Zaha together at Crystal Palace, I was like, man, these boys are mint. You know, I was like, got to sign both of them. And then we signed Zaha, and he could have been in there. United, Zaha flop. But
yeah.
But I've gone with Yannick Bolasie because he did nothing for Everton. And then
he had skills, but he had no end product to his game, did he? Really, you know, never really give you that much. He probably a bit like how people portray Adama to being a bit of a speedster, and not much of
exactly similar, very similar players. Strong, fast, bit tricky. You know, with limited end product. Yeah, that's definitely right. So that's my midfield.
Okay, this sweet. We'll add on the ones that I've put on there. So Aquilani was on there. Then if you class him as a striker or a midfielder, Thomas Brolin when he was at Leeds.
Thomas Brolin, do you know what? I used to love that guy. When he was playing for Sweden,
yeah,
he was like, I was really excited when I seen him come Premier League. I had him in my sticker book as well when I was a kid.
Yeah, a bit of a letdown, wasn't it? I think probably one of the more retro Premier League fans, the biggest letdown, really, because everyone was excited by what they was getting in there, but never worked out again. Yeah. One I suppose didn't add him was Eric Jemba.
Well, do you know what? It's because I've talked about him so many times on the show when we've talked about different stuff. Karol Poborski's another one. David Bellion's another one. Honestly, United have had a lot. Kleberson, Bebe.
Kleberson was on there, yeah.
Oh, man, we've had some shit. We have had some shit in our time. I'm telling you, we really have. And even coming back now, I could put half of the ones that are in the squad now in this team. You know, God, man, it's poor. But I ain't going to keep going over that because honestly, mate, I want to be quite happy going into tomorrow rather than feeling half suicidal that my team's bottom of the fucking shit. Bottom of the shoe. Shit.
Two English ones to add on there, but one of the biggest ways of careers, Jack Rodwell. He went to City.
To be honest, that were a bad move for him as well at the time. I even said it. I said it at the time as well. I went, shame that. He should have stayed where he was. I said he's going to end up a bench player. He's going to end up a bit part player. And he's just going to ruin his career. And there's been a few like that have gone to City.
Yeah.
Another one was Danny Drinkwater.
Just about the same. 30 million. no fault of him of his own really. But he only ever had really one good season in his career. So yeah, you'd probably blame
The
Chelsea.
title winning season as well. What a time to get your best season in.
Yeah. I was like, he had a great season that year, but he should have stayed there. He's never going to break the first team at Chelsea. Never even had the chance to, I suppose. But I suppose he hasn't made my list because it's more on Chelsea's part that they paid 30 million for him.
I got another one for you.
Go on.
Remember Dave Kitson?
Yeah. The big ginger.
Yeah. And everyone raved about him. He went to Stoke, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. I think it was a fair bit of money, yeah. From Reading, yeah.
He did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Seth Johnson. Oh!
Yeah, 7 million, yeah. I think that was more down to injury, I suppose. He was just career was wrecked. Like Michael Johnson at City as well. But,
yeah.
Never really actually assigned him, was he? He was obviously City's product. So.
What about Andy Johnson? Crystal Palace.
Oh, Andy. He was all right for Palace.
Yeah, he was good for Palace, but he moved, didn't he? And then he just struggled.
Yeah. Oh, Fulham. He was okay for Fulham, I thought. But yeah, probably didn't have the same goal scoring prowess. But what about
Bobby Zamora?
I like Zamora. I thought you put yourself about a bit, but I was thinking of Adam Johnson. Then we're going for.
Yeah, he struggled, didn't he?
We'll keep that one out.
A couple of years ago with prison team.
But another one you could add to that for a waste of money at the end is Mendy at City as well. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Not just for what he's done. He was pretty poor, I thought. The last one I've added, the last two I've added on there is Angel Di Maria.
Yeah, Angel Di Maria. I nearly put him in actually because he was bigged up, and obviously everyone knew about Di Maria being at Real Madrid. Then came over, started really well, but then
he did,
just turned into a shower of turd, like really, really quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, and Williams transfer to Arsenal.
Oh yeah. To be honest, what I rate about this, and fair play to William, is the fact that he's paid out his own contract and said, "Listen, I really don't want to be here. I'm not going to just sit here and take your money. I want to go. I'll pay out my remainder of my contract. I ain't asked." You know, what a guy.
Yeah,
you really want to go. Fucking right, that's the way to do it. Sure, you're not here just about the money. You're here about something else. Football.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to strikers then?
Go on then.
2 Chelsea strikers. You've
got what you've gone with. I've gone for then. So you've already know that I've got Alexis Sanchez up there, and you've gone with Andrei Shevchenko.
Yeah.
So have I.
Oh, I've changed the strikers over about 15 times because
I have.
the list. I might as well just say it all out. I'll be here all night going through. So you've gone to Shevchenko, yeah, probably. I've said it a few times.
He was mega as well, Milan.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this guy's fat. And then, yeah, I couldn't believe it when I was like, he's going to Chelsea. I was like, it's over. It's over. It's literally over.
Yeah, they're going to walk the league. I say, he was getting himself in the chance. He was getting loads of chances. He just couldn't finish any of them. So it's sort of like it's a bit of a weird comparison, but I remember Adi Akinboye when Leicester signed him from Wolves.
Yeah.
And he kept making these chances for himself because he was so powerful. He just couldn't finish. And the Shevchenko just reminded me of that.
He did all hard work, and then almost a bit like Timo Werner.
Yeah. Who, if he carries on that, because I like watching Werner play, but
but it's the end product.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey! I tell you what, he looks like Sky and everything so close to the
He's doing it again. Doing it again yesterday. He was getting into these wonderful positions and just messing it up, trying to lob the keeper all the time and just place it.
Play it simple, innit?
Yeah.
Hit the ball low and hard.
The other one was probably a surprise because
I'm gonna guess.
Go on.
You said surprise.
Surprise because I'll give you a clue. He's in the Premier League before and he was brilliant.
Lukaku.
No.
We're talking a few years ago.
Yeah, probably about just under 10 years ago. He was amazing for the team he played for. And he was a pain in the arse for you as well. Always scored against you. Always had Vidic sent off. He's just going to be one of them who sways over your head, isn't it? It could be an harsh one as well because he has won Champions League with them and the FA Cup. He pretty much won them the Champions League. He got them to the final.
I'm lost now then.
I'm going to be gutted when you hear it because you'll know who it is.
I'll know it.
It's Fernando Torres.
Of course, Torres. What a wanker he were. Ruined us. Liverpool and Chelsea. Prick.
He missed that open goal for Chelsea. I think that's what got him on the list, that open goal miss against Man United for Chelsea. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. That was awful. Did all hard work and then put it wide.
So all the Man U fans are, here we go again. Oh, hey.
Yeah, I couldn't believe. Yeah, Torres. Tell you what a forward line if it's Torres and Shevchenko.
What a team they'd both be, I suppose, if they actually worked to how they did the previous clubs, then it'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? But yeah, well, that's what made this list.
Yeah. Chelsea was Adrian Mutu.
Yeah. He started off brilliant. I think it was mainly the drugs claim that wrecked him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who have you got up to? You had Sanchez. Have you had Shevchenko, did you say?
Shevchenko and Sanchez, yeah.
Is that, oh yes, 4-4-2, you've gone for, sorry, yeah. Yeah.
That concludes my team. Taib, Bogard, Boateng, Piqué, Marcelino, Bentley, Veron, Aquilani, Balassi, Shevchenko and Sanchez.
So a very good list. Well, it's a good list because they're meant to have been world class, but they never were.
Who was that fella that played for Liverpool that went to? I'm not sure whether he went to Porto. He went to was he at Milan? Suso.
Suso, yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Pop. He was the other one that I was trying to think of.
I was trying to think of Aspas. He come over, didn't he? And he's done well since he's left. But I don't think he come with the reputation to be a big player for Liverpool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll quickly run through the list. I mean, we can drop back on them when we go through, so we'll be here forever if we stop off them. So you got Memphis Depay when he went to Man United.
Yep.
Chris Sutton transfer to Chelsea.
Sutton. Yeah, definitely.
Shocking for Chelsea.
Yeah, he was. Brilliant.
Matthias Kesman. He was a goal machine.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll, again, probably not much of his fault.
Liverpool.
Yes. Saido Berahino's transferred to Stoke.
Yeah.
Mutu have gone there. Francis Jeffers.
Yeah. Oh, man. When he went Arsenal, he returned. He was brilliant for
him. Rebrov, who...
Sergei Rebrov. I tell you what, he was... Do you know what, though? That's a bit harsh because he had moments where he was class for Tottenham.
Well, I was excited about him coming over. He was in my team at first, and then
talking about Ukrainian and talking about Tottenham, Pavlyuchenko.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I forgot all about him.
Yeah, honestly, I did until now. I just went, oh yeah.
I can't add him now. He kept us up here. Playing against Birmingham, him and Stephen Hunt on that day. Another Spurs flop who surprised. I remember having him in my fantasy team when he first came out. I think he's going to score about 20 odd goals. He's Roberto Soldado.
Man, he was a surprise when he from Valencia. Honestly, yeah. I was like, this guy's scored loads of goals. He's flying them in La Liga. I just thought, God, blimey. And then
he'd be the worst version of the Jorginho, a penalty merchants. That's all he ever scored was penalties.
Yeah, but he was crap. He literally that was a bad signing there in the end.
Yeah.
That was a lot of wasted money, that.
I think if he had another couple of years and performed like that, he'd probably would have been a dead cert in my team. Joe, who was at City, I think he was one of their first signings.
Joe. Yeah, I remember him. Tall, lanky thing. Yeah.
This one's harsh because he went on to be pretty much world class when he left. And he was good. Say that again.
Peter Crouch.
And it was good for the team he played for, but he just couldn't score. That's Diego Forlan.
Yep.
Again,
do you know what? He went down. He went from struggling like mad at United, to becoming a bit of a cult hero by scoring a double at Anfield
against Liverpool.
And I tell you what, we'll never say anything bad about him again because that's what it's about, isn't it?
Again, it's probably in the sort of description of Shevchenko and the Akinboy thing. He's always getting them chances, but he couldn't finish them.
No.
He must have played on his mind so much that he just couldn't recover at United. He went to Villarreal, he was brilliant.
Yeah, but you talk about that. Unfortunately, the problem was they'd made their mind up about him. Fergie had made his mind up about him like quite early on and then we had to play him because of injuries. And then he came in and scored loads. He scored must have scored about 10 or 12 goals in like a short space of time. He found his shooting boots and then he stopped scoring and then they sold him. And then he went and bagged loads of goals. I'm on about for season on season then, didn't he?
Yeah. But as I say, he scored a thunderbolt at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Just after he left as well, didn't he? So, again, probably no fault of his own. Ryan Brewster's transfer to Sheffield United was a big one. And
was a bad one because I would tipping him be like one of the next big things, really.
Yeah. Well, when you do it at the youth level and you score so many, you probably will have that tip, won't you? But
I played with a lad a bit like this, who went a bit like that. When I was playing at Northwich Victoria, actually, no, I'll tell a lie. When I was at your academy at Wanderers, we had a lad called Cy Whaley, right? He's an half-cast lad, and he went to Preston, and he played first team at Preston. And
is he a winger?
No, he was a striker.
Was he a striker? I think I might have heard the name. Is it Whaley with like WH?
WHALLEY.
Yes, yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Well, he was a good mate of mine at school. So anyway, yeah, he was, yeah. So anyway, he's like, but he loved. Honestly, we seen it coming as well, and he stayed back end of school. He was like, although he was mega at football, he was getting into going out a lot and seeing girls a lot, and they were all over him at the time. Because he was an half-caste lad as well. All girls in clubs are all throwing themselves at him and that. God blimey. But yeah, he was very, very much a bit like Brewster. He was going to be one of the next big things. And then, nothing. Struggled at Preston. He just didn't do anything.
I think I've managed him on my football manager games in the past, I'm sure. Did all right for me on that.
Yeah, I did as well, didn't I?
Yeah. In the reserves.
Tight get. Put me in reserves.
I'll give you a 30 grand a week contract just so you could pay me some of it back.
Well, it's more than I ever earned anyway, so that's all
right. Do you remember Afonso Alves at Borough?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Balotelli's transfer to Liverpool. I think that was doomed as soon as you knew it, I think.
Yeah.
Corrado Grabby, who went to Blackburn.
Blackburn, yeah. Yeah.
And the last one, which was probably the only club he didn't really perform for, was Robbie Keane at Liverpool.
I always forget he went to Liverpool.
That's probably because he was how bad he was.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think that was his boyhood club as well, Liverpool. So maybe the pressure had got to him to try and perform for them. But yeah, that's it. There's probably so many more that you can.
There's loads. There is loads. Because at the end of the day, you've got to think about all these different clubs out of it, the Premiership, or the Premier League now, should I say. And for every 10 signings, you're going to have at least 4 which you ain't doing out for you, ain't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you get a bit of, yeah. I mean, if the face fits and then you actually perform for that club, then, it's just meant to be. Sometimes it isn't. You see, well, on that list that we've both put out, most of them are pretty much world class at other clubs that have been at. So that just proves that sometimes just the club doesn't fit the face, does it? So
yeah, you're absolutely right.
So yeah, that's it from me.
Well, that concludes our everything. We've gone through the FA Cup fixtures for the weekend. Ooh, FA Cup fixtures for the weekend for Saturday, Sunday, and United's fixture on Monday. We've gone through our 11, our flops of the Premiership.
Might be worth doing the bargain one at some point, so I suppose it's going to be...
Yeah, 100%.
You'll probably have to go a bit more modern day with that one, because I suppose everyone was a bargain back in the 90s, wasn't it?
We'll do that in a fortnight then, Lee.
Yeah.
Give us a couple of weeks and we'll do that, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
Because obviously we'll be back on Premiership fixtures next week.
Yes.
So once that's out of the way, then we could probably could try and throw an extra one in midweek and see where we're at. But yes, so hope you've enjoyed our flops. And if you've got any other flops that we haven't mentioned, we've obviously gone through quite a lot, and you can think of any, then chuck it in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell button so you keep in touch with all our latest content. We're going to be trying to keep on the ball with everything this year. And yeah, thanks for watching. Good to see you, Lee.
And you, mate. I'll see you soon.
Proper job. Take care, guys. See you soon.
See ya.